is there ever going to be a world where the managers and the artists are going to know who's going to be listening to our records or the records of the artists, so we can directly connect with them?
Great question. This comes up a lot. Ever since we've had some form of analytics dashboard in Spotify for Artists, this has been one of our top requested kind of features.
I used to ask once a week when I was managing that.
So, I mean, there are a few things here. The average listener on Spotify is listening to a couple of hundred artists, right? Every month, every few weeks.
Yeah.
They're listening to many, many artists. And if every single artist is starting to message the listeners, you don't want those notifications, those emails to go into a spam folder. You know, like some people's email accounts, they've got like a newsletter folder or like a spam folder.
Yeah.
We don't really want it to fall on deaf ears.
Right.
So we've got to make sure that if it's a feature we're going to put in, how do we make sure that it doesn't just be, it's not that it's overused. We're not saying it's going to be overused by a particular artist. It's more that a listener listens to a lot of artists.
Right.
So it's just figuring that out. If we can find a way to figure it out, I think it would make a lot of people happy.
So what I've heard you say is, on average, a user of Spotify, the platform, they're listening to 200 artists a month on average?
On average, 200 artists
Got
a
you.
month.
So it's a good point. I actually never thought of it that way. So if, say, for example, you're now giving 200 artists' teams emails and names like of all the listeners for that particular month, how many of those are actually diehard listeners, one? And two, how are you going to avoid them getting spammed and then all of a sudden it creates a whole lot of traffic that is unwanted?
But I think it's a great idea. I think it could be really impactful. We've just got to figure out how it would work.
What if it was like the 1% of those, the super fan? I don't want to call them a super fan, but just don't have another term for it right now. But like, you know, the artists that their fans that are in the 1%. What about that? Possible? Talked about?
Anything? It's always talked about. We're always talking about super fans, and that super fan, super listener thing it's always important. It's like, how do we create more value?
Yeah.
Give them more opportunities.
Okay.
Spotify has a follow button. There are people that can actually follow artists on Spotify. So why can't the artists have like direct access to the people that follow, right? Why are we talking about people that are streaming, right? Even if we're going to talk about people that are streaming, why are we talking about the casual streamer or the casual listener? Why are we not talking about getting the data of people that have streamed the song 4 times or 5 times? Why are we not talking about people that add a song to their library or add a song to their playlists? If Spotify is really interested in doing the whole superfan thing, they know how to pull it off. They just don't want to do it because, in a way, they feel like it's going to harm their business. Because having that kind of data gives the artist power and kind of like takes away power from Spotify in a way. So they are probably still trying to figure out how to, make sure that they still retain the power. Because Spotify has a follow button, right? We're not looking at getting people, casual listeners. We're looking at people that are taking time out to actually click that follow button, because most people don't click it. So anybody that clicks it is actually a super fan, and that is the person that we would want to interact with directly. So why can't we get the data of the people that are following? Why can't we get the data of the people that are streaming multiple times? Why can't we get the data of the people that are adding to their playlist and adding to their library every time that we release a song? The solution is there. They're just not interested in taking it.